Hi there.
Hi, I'm Cameron Isenberger.
Hi,
I'm with the
Cameron.
Advanced Drain System. How are you?
Good to meet you. I'm Jen. Come on
Jen,
in.
nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, absolutely. May I have a seat?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So I had an appointment to talk with Tiffany,
Yes.
and she was a buyer for Kiewit. What was your position with the company?
So I have the same role. I'm actually filling in for Tiffany. She's on maternity leave. So,
okay. Well, congratulations to her.
Yes, absolutely. We're really excited for her. So I've come over from our Houston office just to kind of fill in for her while she's
okay.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So my territory I'm responsible for is the Des Moines to Scottsbluff territory for ADS.
Good.
And I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I graduated from Millard South High School, and that's where I am employed with ADS. I am based out of the Omaha office.
Okay.
I graduated from UNK. I had a supply chain major and an industrial distribution minor.
Okay.
And this is my first job out of college, and I've been with the company for 13 months. I had the opportunity to intern with them for a summer. I liked what their company was about, so I decided to stick with them.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so I guess I was wanting to talk to you about your drainage systems and as far as how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm working on a pretty big project right now, our national accounts, and it's sewage, drainage, everything piping that you could ever imagine, some mats. And so that's really a big focus for myself. I have about 6 weeks to kind of get that project up and running.
Okay.
So there's a definite need for product.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just trying to make sure I'm working with the right people for that.
Yeah, for sure. And then so what are kind of your goals with that project, both short-term and long-term? What do you hope to accomplish? What kind of products are you looking for?
So I'm looking for essentially a partner that is going to be better than who I'm working with now, to be honest. So I work with about 4 or 5 different distribution companies, and I am not overly pleased. I think we're not really getting the best pricing. We're pretty segmented in our purchasing right now. I'd like to see that consolidated a good bit.
Yeah.
So definitely looking to make some more revenue and definitely cut a lot of costs out.
Absolutely. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
And then so what are the issues you guys have with your current suppliers right now?
They're fine. It's just that we're so spread out. We're just really not focusing on one. And I think because of that, we haven't really gotten kind of that premier service that we're looking for. We're a pretty large company, but when you split up your purchasing, you're nobody's big account. And,
for sure.
So there's been a couple things that I've been looking for some guidance on, and I just received no sort of direction or advice. And so I'm looking for a little bit more of that personal relationship and more of an advisory role from a supplier.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what my goal was coming in here, is to hopefully build a relationship that we can cover that complete coverage of needs, and hopefully we have a diverse product supply, and hopefully we can make something with that work. Yeah. And then so, like I said, I've only been with the company for 13 months, and I came across information that we actually lost your guys' business about 13 months ago. So I was wondering if you knew a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I had seen that too. You were on our approved supplier list, but you were inactive for about a year now. So I honestly was hoping you could provide some insight, because I've been down in the Houston office for 12 years. So Tiffany might have some idea. I honestly am not sure why we parted ways, but it was a pretty abrupt.
Right.
It was pretty clear there was no purchasing between one day to the next. So. I honestly was hoping maybe you would have some insight on that.
Unfortunately, I do not. I've been with the company for 13 months, but I can say that going forward, we'd love to have a great partnership with Kiewit and to continue to foster that relationship. And hopefully, obviously, when Tiffany comes back in town, we'll need to set something up with her and get things sorted out and make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, that's probably good.
So, And then, so I guess you said, what are 3 specific things that your company needs help with? I know you said you were looking at drainage, decreasing the diversity among your suppliers.
Yeah, and I would just say price. Price is so important to us. Yeah, we're really looking to save on costs.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the big things that we're big on cost savings, and as far as providing the most green and efficient product we possibly can.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess something else I was really interested about Kiewit is, I noticed that you guys had built the Tenaska corporate headquarters, which was a 96,000 square foot building, and that was completely green, completely efficient. Is that kind of where your company's moving going forward?
Yeah, I think we'd like to stay in that realm. You know, sustainability is very important to us. LEED certification is something we're definitely chasing after. So I would like to stay in that realm. I want to make sure we're using high quality products because safety is just as important to us as sustainability. But that's a definite path that I'm seeing, you know, the executive team wanting to go towards. Okay.
Yeah. So here's a little bit of information, just a little bit more about ADS. And that we're big on driving innovation, staying ahead of the curve. And it all started back in 1966 when we realized that you could produce a corrugated polyethylene pipe that's both more efficient and more environmental friendly than concrete piping or clay piping. And what we've done is try to stay ahead of the curve, continue to be innovators, driving an industry, and overall improving the quality of our lives and our children's lives.
Are you guys a manufacturer or a distributor?
Yes, we are both a manufacturer and a distributor.
Okay,
so we have 60 distribution centers around the 60 manufacturing plants.
Oh, sorry, people have been coming in and out of my office all day long. I can't catch a break. Hang on a minute. Hey, what's going on?
So
I have a visitor in today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Hey, Kev, Glenn Flanagan, VP of Supply Chain.
Oh, yeah, I'm Cameron Isenberger. I am with Advanced Drainage Systems.
ADS?
Yes.
Hold that thought. I need to catch up with you later this afternoon on some national contract stuff. ADS, Advanced Drainage Systems. You're new with them?
Yes, I've been with the company for 13 months.
Gotcha. So I apologize to you. If I had known that you were meeting with ADS, I would have told you not to waste your time.
Okay.
So all cards on the table, know what you're aware of. But about a year ago, we had a situation where your sales rep for your company was giving gifts and bribes to one of our purchasing agents to win business.
Okay.
As soon as we found out about it, we immediately fired our purchasing agent and pretty much moved all of our business to suppliers that we felt were more ethical, that we could trust.
Okay.
Again, I appreciate the fact that you're here. I'm sure you're a nice fellow, a nice guy. But as far as I'm concerned, this isn't somebody we want to do business with. But you're here, and I didn't tell her, so feel free to finish your meeting. But you know where I stand on this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was interested in investigating into that, so I appreciate your input into that. You had no record on that, so I thank you for that.
Yeah, like I said, we had a long relationship, and the business was good, but unfortunately, when something like that happens, you can understand our point of view.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I understand.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate your information.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. I'll catch up with you later.
You.
Wow, so that's interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
Were you aware of that?
No, I was not. Being with the company for 13 months, that was something that one of my goals and objectives of this meeting was to find out and hopefully rehabilitate that relationship that we had lost somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be a buyer or a seller that's going to be unethical, taking bribes like that. I'm fresh out of college. I'm looking to start my career and hopefully grow with clients that'll be willing to grow with me and along my career. So.
Do you know what happened to the guy who used to handle our account? Is he still around?
I believe that he was fired from the company.
Okay.
That's the only information that I received.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, that's just so serious. I'm trying to kind of make my name here and move back out to Nebraska if I do really good on these national accounts. And I mean, I'm not trying to mess with anything, you know,
absolutely.
Like that.
So I know that you mentioned you were trying to make your name, and I think that ADS presents a great opportunity for you to make that name by fostering a relationship that maybe was lost somewhere along the way due to ethical reasons. And I think that going forward, we can maintain ethics. Kiewit's big goals are about driving innovation, keeping your employees safe, people first, and those are like ADS. I mean, we had our company mantra is the green stripe matters. Every pipe on that ADS is put in the ground has a green stripe on it, and I'd like to think that that means something.
Yeah. So what do we do to make sure that that just is not a question moving forward? I mean, if we're going to take you guys back as a supplier, I got to have some sort of certainty. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do have a service guarantee. Everything's good for 75 years that goes in the ground. And me personally, I'm not going to be like that. I'm a fresh student out of college. Like I said, I'm looking for my career.
Yeah.
And that's not practice I'm willing to mess around with.
Okay.
I mean, to be good and as ethical as possible. Mm-hmm. And I think that trust and integrity is important for both of us, and I hope that you can find that in me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then, so I don't know, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to share with you a little bit more as far as what we have to offer.
Sure.
So that is our N12 pipe. That's our standard pipe. And I don't know, are you guys using concrete or?
Mainly plastics.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be a plastic pipe. That's going to be, it's built environmentally friendly. And then another one that we have, and I think this is the one that I was most excited to share with you guys, and that's our Mega Green N12 pipe, and that is made of 40% recycled material. So obviously that's currently the industry leader. That's as green as it gets. It runs a little bit more pricey than that, but in my opinion, it's worth it when you know you're making a difference in your life and in your kids' lives.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something we're interested in. I've seen other versions of this at the companies that we purchase from. I'm just kind of purchasing one from one source and another from the other.
Absolutely.
So it's good to see that you have, all of this together.
And another thing, it was kind of where I was getting into before Kevin came in and knocked on the door, was we do have 60 different manufacturing plants and 30 distribution centers. And that includes a distribution center in Kansas City and then one in Denver also. So essentially we can offer you guys a just-in-time supply chain service where you guys aren't going to have to waste your inventory costs, which I know you guys were interested in cutting costs, and implicating that just-in-time system is a great way to reduce that inventory cost and overall cost.
Yeah, timing is very important to us, and the quicker we can get things out the door, the quicker we can build a customer, which is always good. Okay, so this product looks good. I've seen something similar before, so I'm on board with that. I've been looking into ways to just save money. I'm just really looking to cut costs. So I've been looking at some Chinese import companies that seem like they offer really similar products to you guys. So how would you compare price-wise to that kind of industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously you're going to be able to get it a little bit cheaper, but you're also going to have the supply chain reliability that comes from shipping products from China. I mean, that's a 4-week transit overseas, everything regardless. I mean, we're an American company. We're in your back door, Denver, Kansas City. We can get products to you, save you money on that end versus on the product itself. Yeah. And it's also going to be a product that's going to be a lot higher quality. I mean, I'd like to think we make the highest quality pipes on the market and are able to sustain those and warranty them for 75 years. And that's not something that you'll get out of a Chinese manufacturer.
What's your delivery time look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So our delivery window, if we can receive an order, we can get that delivered within the next week. Okay. So essentially we can have every week getting new pipes in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so are you guys, obviously you're interested in saving money, but how about productivity of your workers, making their lives easier when they're installing these pipes? That's something. Yeah, and then so I think that one of the things that really differentiates us is how easy the pipes are to install. We've got fasteners that are all patented and are able to be put together and assembled a lot easier than competitors' products. And so I think that'll really help to make your workers' lives more productive and make them enjoy what they do and not stress so much about that aspect of it.
A quicker install is definitely better and always safer.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know what your interests are going forward as far as, obviously there's a huge problem that we need to settle with Kevin, and probably Tiffany's going to have the same viewpoint as that. I don't know if you wanted us to take some time next week to sit down with maybe Tiffany and Kevin and sort things out, maybe sign some contracts, get a service guarantee so we can ensure those kind of things aren't happening, maybe a little bit more auditing, quality control.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it'd be good to set up some sort of a system to make sure we have good parameters.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely need to make sure he's in the room to, he's got a big voice on the purchasing side. Tiffany, we don't have to worry about. She's out on maternity leave. I'm handling that for her. But somebody else that I think would be interested is our CFO, Mike. He's pretty involved day to day. So we can always, I can talk to Mike and just see if he's interested.
Yeah,
and if he wants to have you in, then we could always talk about that.
Right, and I'm sure if obviously we can save him money, so I'm sure I hope that Mike would be interested in sitting down with us and learning about what we have to offer as far as ABS goes. Yeah, so is there a time available next week that we can set up that meeting possibly with Mike and Kevin and get their input and maybe try and settle some bad relationships that were fostered in the past? Yeah,
I think that's good. I would definitely just come in and be prepared to kind of settle the past and move on towards the future. So why don't we do maybe same day, same time next week as we're meeting now?
Okay, perfect. I can plan on that.
Okay, awesome. In the meantime, I'll pass these along to those guys.
Yeah, and I do have my contact information on that first handout that I gave you. So if you need that, feel free to contact me.
Okay. Sounds good. Looking forward to saving some money and moving back to Nebraska. And hoping you can do all of that for me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. It was a pleasure.
Good to meet you.
Good
Thanks.
To meet you
Have
too.
a good one.
You as well.